Hello, students. This is your principal, Dr. Pavelchik. We miss you, and we wanted desperately to find a way to bring everyone back safely. However, that is simply impossible. We've been focused on your opportunity to learn, your opportunity to stay engaged with classmates, and your opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities and athletics. We've been working hard to make sure we don't take these opportunities away from each of you. With that said, I wanted to take some time to help you all understand how your days and weeks will be while operating under our interactive remote learning plan. I'm going to do my best to help students understand what a day in their life will look like beginning Monday, August 31st, 2020, the first day of the 2021 school year. Here is the interactive remote learning plan schedule. During the morning hours, 4 periods per day will run with odd periods on Mondays and Wednesdays and even periods on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Fridays will alternate on a weekly basis from odd periods to even periods, back to odd periods, back to even periods, and so on. After lunch, the afternoon is dedicated to student practice and time for students to meet with teachers either on-site in person or virtually. To meet the needs of our community, our buildings will remain open as long as we stay in phase 4, and students can set up appointments with District 126 staff by way of email and phone. We have buses running all day throughout our community at strategic times for students who need transportation to school. All students who enter the building will need to follow safety guidelines that include having their temperature checked and self-certifying that they are free of typical COVID-19 symptoms. It is mandatory that face masks are worn at all times. Our ZPTHS dress standard for students remains the expectation during virtual learning and when in the building. Monday through Friday, the student day starts at 8:30 a.m. This is what we are calling synchronous learning time. This lasts until 12:15 p.m. During this time, all teaching will be done remotely. Using your Chromebooks, you will need to access Canvas. Canvas will list each of your classes. Simply click on your class in Canvas, and you will be able to quickly find the Zoom link to connect virtually and live into your teacher's virtual classroom at the designated time. Student attendance during synchronous learning time will be recorded in Skyward, just as if you were in person. Classroom teachers will continue to mark students absent, tardy, or use the M code to indicate that a student missed 15 minutes or more of class. If a student has a study hall, there is no attendance check-in, and this time can be used for independent study. However, we will run a virtual math lab each period. Math teachers will share information on this once school begins. Appointments can be set up with school counselors or other student service personnel during students' study hall periods as well. Advisory will meet 2 to 3 days per week for the entire 45 minutes. As mentioned, during synchronous learning time, all teaching and learning will be done remotely using Zoom as the virtual classroom along with Canvas. However, our building is open for students to use our Wi-Fi on site in either of our cafes or IMC beginning between 8:30 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. To ensure students have transportation, buses will run throughout our community at various times. I must emphasize that we will be adhering to strict social distancing guidelines during this time. Skyward lists your classes in order from period 1 to period 8. Each of you needs to figure out what class you should be in on which day and at what time. This is a typical schedule of a freshman student. I aligned the 8-period day schedule on the left with how it aligns to the interactive remote learning plan schedule on the right, and I color-coded the classes. This particular student's school day starts at 8:30 a.m. You will see here that this particular student has 3 classes each day with advisory on Monday, Wednesday, and the Friday A days, and 3 classes with a study hall on Tuesday, Thursdays, and the Friday B. Take note that there is a 15-minute break between each class. All of these classes are done by way of Zoom, by way of Canvas, remotely, as students do not need to come in the building. But again, if reliable internet is needed and/or a space to complete synchronous learning, our building will be open as an option with transportation to and from school as previously mentioned. This is the typical schedule of an 11th grade student. Again, the school day starts at 8:30 a.m., 15-minute breaks between classes. Synchronous learning ends at 12:15 p.m., as noted here and on the other 3 slides. It is important to note that while synchronous learning ends at 12:15 p.m., our students' school day is not officially over until 3 p.m. From 12:15 to 1 p.m., this is the designated lunch travel time. During this time, students can eat lunch and/or travel to school for scheduled in-person teacher, school counselor, or other District 126 staff office hours that have been prearranged and scheduled. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., the rest of the student school day will proceed. This is designated as student practice time. Typically, this is time to complete independent work assigned by teachers, like homework, practice activities, or simply study time. During this time, students are also encouraged to take advantage of teacher office hours on Monday through Thursdays only. We have asked classroom teachers to come in at least twice a week for on-site office hours. Information about scheduling office hours will be shared once school begins next week. On-site, teachers will provide support if necessary. For example, a student may set up an individual appointment, or a teacher may host a tutoring session with a small number of students. Those are just a few of the examples that this time could possibly be used for. Off-site office hours, meaning a teacher is not in the building or a staff member is not in the building, will be used just as on-site office hours, except they will obviously be entirely virtual. Bottom line for students, this is time for you to connect with your teachers or other District 126 staff for assistance, support, or coaching. On Fridays, only between 1 and 3, District 126 staff will be engaging in professional development and planning. Students will not be able to meet with District 126 staff during this time. However, this time is still part of the student day, and you are expected to use this time to complete all or most of your assigned work from the previous week and/or prepare for the week ahead. We are planning to provide as many opportunities as we can, such as tutoring services, activities, and athletics after school hours. Please check out our bus schedule on our website if transportation to and from school will be needed. More details regarding after school hours and all of the activities that we are hoping to provide will be provided once school begins. My intent today was simply to provide some perspective and hopefully address some questions or concerns that you may have. Many details will be provided later once the year begins. It is important right now that students are ready on Monday. Freshmen will start Friday with their Chromebooks, Canvas, and Zoom. I want to remind everyone that all teaching and learning will happen virtually and remotely. Please remember, however, that our building is open for students from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day if needed. I want you all to enjoy your last few days of summer break. And there's no doubt this is a tough situation, but I want to encourage students to stay positive and know that we are here for you for any needs you may have. And together we can do this. Together, we are ZBs.